Good morning, everybody. Dave Schmidt along with Matt Nestor and producer Tom Warner. We're going to kick off our 2016 Pigskin preview, and we're going to go up to Wisconsin right away, and we're going to go up to Beloit Memorial, and Rodney Wedig, the head coach there, starting his third season. Coach, thanks so much for getting up early, and is it hard to believe it's 3 years already?
Yeah, no kidding. It really is, but like I said, it's neat to see the progress each year, so I'm really excited for this season.
You know, last year I had a chance to get up there, and I saw you play a really good Janesville Craig team. I mean, you got a lot of nice kids coming back this year.
Yeah, we really do. We return, 10 starters on defense. I lose my entire receiving core, but I've got my quarterback, running back, and linemen, all my linemen back. So, like I said, we knew, kind of the 2-year process of making sure we get things built up. So, last year where I suited up 7 seniors, this year we'll have 21. So, I think you'll see the improvement on Friday nights.
As I say, what's the feeling here? Getting ready to start practice and all that. Kind of the calm before the storm. What's the feeling with so many guys coming back? Is there some excitement starting to build around the program?
Oh, there really is. I know within the program, the group of senior leaders I have are one of the best groups of young men I've been around, really, and that includes going back to my Bigfoot days. I mean, they work hard. They're good leaders. They're doing all the right things, and that's, I guess, really what makes it exciting is that, these are kids that have really bought into the program and are doing things the right way. So, when I first started, I might have had a couple of those kids, a handful last year now. I've got a solid nucleus of kids, and I think they're getting to the point where they're starting to believe in each other as a team, and that's what we really need to do is get over the mental hurdles this year.
How important is it when you're building a program to have a group like that? Because, you're talking about a group that you would have had, I guess, as sophomores now, that you've had that time to really help lay that foundation. How much does that help the program as a whole when you look at some of those lower classes?
It's tremendous, and I keep preaching to the younger kids. We have in Wisconsin, we get those 5 contact days, and preaching to the younger kids, watch these guys in the weight room, watch how they conduct themselves in the classroom. I said, you've got kids right here to learn from, just to keep building on it, because once we get that established, like I said, kind of our last big thing is, then we just got to get over the mental hurdle, because these kids, like I said, they're very good. They're doing things the right way, but yet they've really never had anybody show them how to win yet. So, like I said, that's the last big hurdle that we're hoping to get over this year.
Coach, you've been at Bigfoot, a very successful program that you built there. Is it hard to be really patient, though? I know, part of it is building, and I remember the coaches say that we're going to tear it from the top down and start over from the bottom. Is it hard to be patient over those years, or has it been kind of fun for you to try to rebuild this program from that start?
Both. I'm not going to lie. It got to be more than I thought it would. I thought, okay, we've won quite a bit. But it was very hard to be patient. It really was. And there were times last year where it got really frustrating because, it seems like every time I felt like we were kind of on the verge. We had an injury or something that happened, and that got really frustrating. But at the same time, like I said, as tough as that was at times last year, this off season, just walking in the weight room every morning has been exciting, almost, reinvigorating, to say, hey, maybe we're onto something here. Because, when you lose 18 games in a row, no matter where I've been and what I've done in the past, it's just human nature. You kind of start questioning what you're doing. Are we doing things the right way? Those type of things. So, but that's one of the things I love about coaching.
You've got this great senior class, a lot of excitement, but how do you get over that hurdle, I guess, as a team? What's going to be the key, when you guys get in that situation, whether it's week 1 or somewhere else down the road where, you've got a game on the line, you're either trying to hold a lead or trying to come back. What's going to be the key to maybe just getting over that hurdle?
Honestly, we've got to win a game early. It really is. I think that's the only way. Like I said, we've looked at all sorts of different ways to do it. I think these kids are pretty mentally tough, just because of what they've gone through. A lot of these guys are seniors now, were brought up as sophomores to play way before they were ready, simply because of numbers. And there's always that, when you do that as a coach, and I hated to do it at that time, but we really just didn't have the numbers not to, because the last thing you want is a sophomore to get up and get beaten up every Friday night, because sometimes, they start losing kind of that mental toughness. They start giving up. But the kids that we have, they've persevered through that. So, Our big thing is we need success early. I think, if we can get confident, then we can be competitive with anybody in the conference.
One thing about the Big 8, it's very competitive. I know Middleton and Sun Prairie don't feel sorry for you, so you have to go out there and play some pretty tough teams. Has it been a challenge in the conference?
It really is, and to be honest with you, yeah, I'm not a fan of the closed conference. Where every game is a conference game, because really, when I was at Bigfoot, one of the things we did with our non-conference schedule, we had 2 non-conference games. When I started, we played down a little bit, get some confidence and things like that. And then as we got better, we were scheduling schools twice our size just to, those were going to be a real challenging games to prepare us for the conference. Like here, like I said, in an ideal world, if I could have whatever I want, a couple non-conference games maybe to get some confidence up before conference, but that doesn't happen. We start with West at home, and then we go to Verona right away, and you got to be ready right away.
You talk about having your quarterback back. That's always a key position. What's that going to be like for the team, and what do you expect from that position this year?
Steve Mackinnon he's one of that core group of seniors that has really worked hard. Like I said, he's a great young man. We've tweaked the offense a little bit, so we had to put some of that stuff in during our contact days, but I think he's very comfortable with it. We're going to ask a lot from him, just because he's somebody, he took over midway through his sophomore year, and he's done a great job for us. So it's exciting to have a kid like that back that's not only a talented quarterback, but a good leader.
We're talking with Beloit Memorial head coach Rodney Wedig, who's in his 3rd year at Beloit Memorial. And, let's talk about defense. Those teams over there in that Big 8, they like to do a little bit of everything. How's the defense coming along for this year?
Well, again, we returned 4 of our best defensive players are back. Our 2 safeties, Tyler Curtis Dupuis and Casper Clark. Tyler was second team all-conference last year. Casper was their second leading tackler. And again, you not necessarily always want your safeties to be leading tacklers. That means you need to do a little better job up front. But moving to a 3-4, it does kind of funnel stuff to the safeties. So, I expect big things from them. Having them back in the secondary is very crucial, because not only can they make tackles, but, like you said, in the Big 8, everybody can throw the ball, everybody can run the ball. And then Dominic Johnson and Adonis Mendez back as outside linebackers. And then our defensive line, we basically use a rotation of about 5 or 6 guys, and we'll just continue to do that to keep them fresh and moving. So, like I said, defensively, we're not as big and physical as I'd like to be, but we do have some pretty good athletes that can make some tackles.
Year 3, so many starters back. Do you feel like you're finally at a point where you can start adding in some wrinkles to the playbook there, as opposed to maybe just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page?
Oh yeah, Mike. The 5 contact days this summer was amazing. It was like, it was like back in Bigfoot, where we had our system in place for so long, where these kids just came up and, you called the play and they jogged up and ran it. And yeah, defensively, because again, with our contact days limited at 7-on-7s, we don't do any coaching. We kind of let the kids run it. And our safeties, those 2 safeties, Tyler and Casper, they were able to call every coverage changes, things like that, and everybody knew it. So, yeah, it's a big change to have all those guys in place already.
I hear there's a sophomore that can kick over there. Any relation to you?
Yeah. And that was one of our tweaks to the offense after the season. I'm like, listen, I said, I've got a good tight end living with me. I think we can probably use a few more tight end sets and even some fullback sets and try to run the ball a little better. But, so he's had a good off season, and he's going to be called upon to do a little more than just punt the ball this year. So.
Yeah, he's a big kid, Coach. You did good on that one.
Yeah, you did.
He had to transfer kind of from Bigfoot over there. And I've seen him in a couple of basketball games I've been. I think he's adjusted pretty well over there, hasn't he? That's part of a concern for a dad too, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Before I made the decision to make the move, he was in 7th grade, and it's a tough thing as a dad, because I knew it's a different environment, and but one of the reasons I thought it would work is one, he's a pretty adjustable kid. I mean, he gets along with a lot of people, and so he's able to fit in, and he's enjoyed it. He really loves it here, and that's definitely a positive, because if he was miserable, then my wife would be miserable, and you guys know that rule.
Yeah, we won't let the wives listen to that part, okay, Coach? Hey, real quickly, who's going to win the Big 8 this year? Is it going to be Beloit Memorial? Are you going to give them all a run for it?
Well, I don't think we're ready to make that run yet. I'm hoping we start creeping toward the top here. But I'll tell you what, it's very balanced. And that's the other frustrating thing building a program is there's no dominant team in the Big 8, which kind of hurts us come playoff time. But there's no easy out either. You know what I mean? And so, we don't have that one or two teams saying, okay, circle this one. This is one we can get. So, I think Middleton is always, they've got so many athletes, and they're so talented every year. With Follett, he's done a great job up there, and he's got his quarterback, a running back, and and then Verona returns a lot. So it's, like every year, I think it's pretty much anybody's at the top. We'll see.
Hey, Coach, thanks so much for taking time, and hopefully we'll get over there and see a game. I love your stadium. It's a fun place to play, and Good luck, and have fun on practice Monday.
All right, can't wait. All right, see you guys.
We've been talking to Beloit Memorial head coach Rodney Wedig, and that's got to be frustrating because he knows what he's doing, and it's sometimes
right. Yeah, but it's good to hear that he's got some excitement still around the program. He hasn't given up or anything like that. So it sounds like they got a lot of good things going, and I think this might be a good year for him, at least as far as getting one on the board.
I think he said the key is right. They got to win early.
Yeah, you got to get one early, because otherwise, if you lose the first 3 or 4. That's going to be right there in their head saying, oh, here we go again.